So we talked about president election. Now we'll talk about dispute regarding the election. Article 71. Article 71 provides that all doubts, if you have any doubt, so this is kind of my line, if you have any doubt. So again, I am repeating, if you have any doubt or dispute arising out of or in connection with the election of the president or vice president. So it includes president as well as vice president. Shall be inquired into inquired one thing and decided by the high court. This statement is correct or incorrect? Tell me.
Incorrect, sir. Supreme Court.
Yes, exactly. Supreme Court will do it. So remember this thing, that any dispute or doubt arising out of the election of the president or vice president of India, then it shall be inquired and decided by the Supreme Court of India. Okay. Now second thing. Let's say Pooja, you become the president of India and you do certain acts being in the office of president of India, but 6 months down the line your election declared void. Then whatever you did during the office of the during your tenure of president, will it be declared void or not?
No, sir.
Hmm?
No, sir. No, no.
Okay, so remember this thing, that whatever president or vice president does in the exercise of their powers before the date of decision of the Supreme Court, it will not be invalid. Next thing, who has the power to regulate any matter relating to the election of the president or vice president? Who has the power?
Parliament.
यस. सो इस चीज़ को आप याद रखना कि as per the Article 71 Clause 3, Parliament may by law regulate any matter relating to the election of the president or vice president. One more thing, that 71 clause 4 makes it clear that the election of the president or vice president cannot be challenged on the ground of existence of vacancy for whatever reason in the electoral college electing him. अभी आपको एक एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ. I'll give you an example. Let's assume Rajasthan MP. Now what happens, and assume that next month you have president election. So you know the collegium the electoral college that vote for the president. You know that or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now suppose that so this is the electoral college. MP elected, all the elected MPs and all the MLAs of states elected. It includes Delhi MLAs and Pondicherry or Puducherry, whatever you want to call MLAs. Now suppose suddenly what happens that Rajasthan State Assembly and Madhya Pradesh State Assembly get dissolved. Dissolved means that now there is no government, no one is MLA. Then president election happens, and by the time the president election happens, there is no one in the legislative assembly of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. They are vacant. Voting happens. Someone, Mr. ABC becomes the president of India. Then let's assume that Prajwal is from Rajasthan and he was MLA. So he challenged this election. He says, since the electoral college was not complete, or there was the vacancy in the electoral college, the election should not be declared valid, or election is the invalid. Do you think that Prajwal petition would be maintainable? Prajwal, I am asking you now. Tell me.
Sir, I don't think it should be valid.
Okay. Anyone else who wants to speak?
Please repeat the question you are saying.
I'm saying, what's your name? Who is
Amit.
speaking? Amit. Okay, Amit, you are speaking. Amit, where do you come from?
Varanasi.
ओके, आप यूपी से हो. अब चलो राजस्थान को छोड़ते हैं, आपकी यूपी की असेंबली डिसॉल्व करवाते हैं. सो सपोज योर यूपी असेंबली गेट डिसॉल्व्ड टुडे, and next month we have president election. So you know that your MLA and MLC will be voting, right? Now
Yes.
let's suppose that if it gets dissolved, then there are no MLA basically, right? Then what happens that you were also one MLA and you go to Supreme Court and you tell Supreme Court that declare the election of the president invalid because there was the vacancy in the electoral college. So my question is that your petition will be maintainable or not? This is my simple question.
No, sir. No.
Why?
No, sir.
Reason? Tell. Give me the reason.
Election of president will not stop in any case.
It can be open. Election of the president can definitely be challenged.
Can be challenged if there is something happens which is not in accordance with the rule, not with that anyone not able to vote just because the state legislative assembly is dissolved.
Listen, you should give one simple reason, because it's already mentioned in the constitution. Constitution does not allow challenging the president election on this ground. It's mentioned in the constitution, article 71 clause 4. Hopefully point is clear. Anybody any doubt? Now let's talk about the next point. I mean, there are two cases. I don't want to discuss those kind of cases, but there is this case named Dr. N.B. Khare versus Election Commission of India, Election Commissioner of India, but UPSC will not ask it, so leave it. One more thing I want to tell you: in order to dissuade non-serious candidate, 15,000 rupees are required. If you have to contest, 15,000 required as a deposit, as a security deposit, if you want to contest the election of the president. And it was done through the uh, presidential and vice presidential election amendment act 1997, so that there should be only serious candidate. Second thing, how many if, let's say, I want to contest the election of the president of India, how many people or how many electors support I need?
So 50?
50 as under
Both electors and supporters.
50 electors should propose my name, and this proposal
100 to seconders.
100 or 50?
So 50 proposers, 50 seconders. I think that's.
Yes, that's what I know, but check it, check this thing, because I may also not able to recall this very small detail, so just check it. But for to my best knowledge, I remember this is 50 seconders. Yes, Monica?
Sir, it is a 50 only. Yes, sir, it is a 50 only. The seconder also 50.
Yeah. So what does it mean? Let's say that I want to contest the election of the president. So there will be 50 people. They'll be saying that we are proposing the name of Rahul. So they'll make the proposal. Then this proposal should be seconded by 50 people. They should support this proposal. At least 50 people should support. And in the case of, this is the president, now I want to become vice president of India, how many electors support I need? How many electors should give my name?
So 20.
Yes.
20, sir.
And how many should second this proposal?
20 होगी.
देखो बहुत सिंपल है इसको याद रखने का. 50-50 20-20 क्रिकेट मैच की तरह समझो. प्रेसिडेंट 50 ओवर और वाइस प्रेसिडेंट 20 ओवर. अब अगर आपको चाहिए तो मैं इसको एक कंपैरिजन भी कर सकता हूँ. 50 ओवर्स, देखो ज़्यादा ओवर्स हैं तो प्रेसिडेंट के इलेक्शन में का जो इलेक्टोरल कॉलेज है वो बड़ा है कि नहीं है? You know this or not? The electoral college of president is bigger than the electoral college of vice president. You know this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
यहाँ पे MP plus MLA, elected MP MLA, here only MPs, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
तो देखो
Yes, sir.
ये डबल है तो ये 50-50 हो गया, एक कम है तो ये 20-20 क्रिकेट मैच हो गया आपका. तो ऐसे आप याद रख सकते हो. You can recall like this that vice president election is just like 20-20 cricket match, and president election is just like 50-50 cricket match, 50 over cricket match, one day international. Now we'll talk about the oath by the president of India. Oath, Article 60. It says, before entering upon his office, the president has to take an oath or an affirmation in the presence of the Chief Justice of India. In the presence of Chief Justice of India. And or in his absence, that means in the absence of Chief Justice of India, the senior most judge of the Supreme Court available. What oath president takes? To preserve, protect and defend the constitution and the law, and to devote himself to the service and well-being of the people of India. So this is the oath by the president. Which provision, sorry, which schedule of the constitution has a provision with regard to oath?
Sir,
Third
third.
schedule.
Third, sir.
Okay. And what about the second schedule? What does it talk about?
Sir, emoluments, salary.
Salary, yes. And in what case? If there are no provision, right? If parliament did not make law, then it will be regulated as per the schedule 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll talk about term of the office of the president. Term, Article 56. It says the president shall hold office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. Even after the expiry of his term, he shall continue to hold office until his successor enters upon his office. Second thing, he is not eligible for re-election after 2 terms. Tell me this statement is correct or incorrect.
Incorrect, sir.
Incorrect, sir.
Incorrect.
It is also correct, but not in Indian context, but in some other context. Anyone, if
For
you can.
US.
USA.
USA.
Yes. USA, a person can become maximum 2 times president. Thereafter, Tata bye bye. So just like Barack Obama, he was the USA's president from 2008 to 2016, and thereafter, now he's doing something else. Modi is the only prime minister who hosted 3 president of USA. You know this fact or not?
Yes, sir. And I think, sir, this fact is also applicable for Russia and Turkey as well, but they repeated that.
Russia, Russian is like Russia is not democracy only. Do you think Russia is a democracy?
No.
No, sir.
Yes. So Prime Minister Modi is just like just telling all the US presidents, I'll be here. You can come and go. Second thing, he may be elected for any number of terms, but in USA, they had 22nd Amendment. We can have this kind of question also in the examination, that do you think that the term of the politicians should be fixed, or they should not be given more than 2 or 3 terms, one person? This kind of question we'll definitely see sometime. So after the 22nd Amendment to the US Constitution, a person cannot elected to the office of president more than twice. I'm talking in American context. The President of India may, however, resign his office before the expiry of his normal term of 5 years by writing to the Chief Justice of India. This statement is correct or incorrect?
Sir, incorrect. Vice President.
Yes. Remember this thing, Vice President of India. He'll have to write to Vice President of India if he wants to resign. If he wants to resign, and Vice President will address whom?
President.
So president.
It's like interchangeably. BP will address him, President will address him. But one more thing. In the context of oath, President and Chief Justice. Chief Justice will administer oath to whom? President, right? And President will administer oath to Chief Justice of India. What about Vice President? Vice President को oath कौन दिलवाता है? Who administer oath to the Vice President of India?
So president.
पक्का?
President, sir. Sir, no, sir. He is the ex-officer chairman of Rajya Sabha.
So, what?
I don't think so. He take oath for the post of vice president.
आप ऐसा मत सोचो. The President administer oath to the Vice President of India. ठीक है. I have a question for you. Who are the two vice president, or who have been two vice president in India elected consecutively for 2 terms? Yes.
Sir, one is Dr. Hamid Ansari, and sir, second is I don't recall right now.
एक घंटे बाद कॉल कर लूँगी. 1 घंटे बाद कॉल. Hamid Ansari and Sarpalli Radhakrishnan. So these are the two people in the Indian history who have been elected to the post of vice president twice consecutively. ठीक है. अब इसके बाद यस विल टॉक अबाउट द टाइम ऑफ होल्डिंग इलेक्शन. Article 62 Clause 1 provides that election to fill the vacancy caused by the expiry of the term of the office of president must be completed before the expiration of term. It means, let's say that on 1st January 2024 the term of the sitting president is getting expired. Then from this date, before 6 months from this date, the election should happen, or in other words, before this date the election should be concluded. Second thing, that if the vacancy is occurring due to the reason of death, resignation, or removal, or otherwise, then it shall be held as soon as possible, in no case later than 6 months from the date of occurrence of the vacancy. So let's say that due to some reason the president resigns, or he dies, or something like this happen, then let's say that on 1st January 2024 this incident took place, then within 6 months the new president has to come in the office. Within 6 months the election has to happen for the post of the president. Till then vice president will be holding the post. And if the vice president is not available for any of the any reason, then the chief justice of India. And if chief justice of India is not available, then who?
Senior most judge.
Yes, senior most judge, who is in the line of succession. Now let's talk about the procedure for impeachment of the president. So Article 61 of the Constitution lays down the procedure for the impeachment of the president. The president can be removed from his office by a process called impeachment. And is there any ground mentioned in the Constitution?
So, violation of constitution.
Yes, violation
But this violation is not defined.
of the Constitution. But this ground is not defined. And the impeachment charge against him may be initiated by the by the Lok Sabha only. This statement is correct or incorrect?
Incorrect.
Correct.
Then what is the correct statement?
Then
Both
both the houses it can be.
Yes. So the impeachment charges against him may be initiated by either house of the parliament. The charges must come in the form of proposal. So charges must come in the form of proposal. Contained in a resolution, and that resolution should be signed by how many members?
The 1/4.
1/4 of the total number of total number of the members of the house, and moved after giving at least 14 days advance notice. So basically what they have to do, this resolution has to be moved by the 1/4 of the member, and it will be moved before giving the 14 days notice, and it should be passed by as majority of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the house, and the charge is then investigated by the other house. The president has the right to appear to be represented at such investigation, and if other house after investigation passes a resolution by 2/3 majority declaring that the charges are proved, then such resolution shall have the effect of removing President of India from his office and the day the resolution is passed, on the very same day he'll be removed from the office. So this is the procedure of Indian president. I was thinking one question, but I forgot. Hmm, what I was thinking. The president. So, do you think that this resolution can be disapproved by the speaker or not? This is something, let's say this resolution is given, then can this resolution can be disapproved by the speaker or chairman, whatever be the case. Can it happen? This is the homework I'm giving it to you. You need to find it out, or whether speaker or chairman has no role to play. So figure out and text me. After class, you'll be having 2 hours to do the same. Now, I want to take you to American position. Under Article 11, Section 4 of American Constitution, the President and all civil officers of the United States can be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of a treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. In America, the power to initiate the impeachment proceeding lies with the lower house.
Sorry, sir. Could you please repeat the amendment once again?
What amendment? Indian.
No, sir. In US context, could you repeat the statement you started with?
I said under Article 11, Section 4 of the
Okay,
American Constitution, the President and all civil officers of the United States. Again, I'm repeating, the President and all civil officers of the United States can be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, and other high crimes. Okay, now
Sir, amendment number 25th of US Constitution also says removal of president.
which one?
So amendment 25th.
It can say, but it's mentioned. What I am saying, it's mentioned under Article 11, Section 4 of American Constitution. You can read this Article 11, Section 4.
Okay, sir. So that is in the case of death of the president.
Can you read it?
Just a second, sir. So section 1 says, in case of removal of the president from the office.
Article 11, Section 4,
Oh, okay, sir.
not Section 1.
So this was the amendment. I'll have to search it.
Just read it, Section 4 impeachment direct, I'm telling you now. Section 4. It's article, I think, not 11, it's 2. Article 2, it's written in Roman.
Yes, sir.
Yes, 2, Section 4.
So it says the president, vice president, and all civil officers of United States shall be removed from the office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors.
Misdemeanors. So that's what I said, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One more thing. In America, the the power to initiate the impeachment proceeding lies with the lower house. Remember this thing. Who has the power? Lower house. That appoints a committee to investigate the charge. So basically, what it will do, that proceeding it will initiate and it will appoint a committee. And to investigate the charges, the finding of the house are then sent to the Senate. So whatever the finding are there, it will be sent to the Senate for action. Keep it. It's not 11. It's written in Roman, so maybe I must have taken it mystically. So read it, Article 2, Section 4. Senate for action. Then the Senate that hears the impeachment is presided over by the Chief Justice. Okay, presided over by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of America, and if the Senate by two-third majority of the members present at the trial agrees to the charges, the president is convicted and removed. So I'm taking a break for 5 minutes, and then let's get back.